What if Ahsoka Tano had turned Darth Vader back to the light side? What if Darth Vader had actually killed Ahsoka Tano, and as she laid there dying, she convinced Anakin to push aside Darth Vader and come back to being the hero he needed to be? I know it's not actually part of the Star Wars timeline, but it's really cool to think about what could have been. How would have this changed events? Well, this is the exact question I asked my fellow theory crafting Jedi, and I'm amazed with the ideas that you've shared. First up here is Medieval Man 9. He says, had Ahsoka managed to redeem Vader, everything would have changed in the Star Wars universe, and ironically, much would have stayed the same. A newly returned Anakin on the side of the rebellion would have meant that the most powerful Jedi ever would now be the symbol of hope for the galaxy, and his skills as a pilot would mean that he would probably have been the one to fire the shot that destroyed the Death Star. Yeah, that's pretty cool to think of Anakin sitting in a Death Star with some sort of respirator flying down there. Maybe Sidious would be the one trying to track him down and shoot him. Either way, nice theory crafting as always, Medieval Man 9. Moving on to number 2, here we have Darth Sidious. He says, I think that if Ahsoka had been successful in turning Vader against the Emperor, he would have gone undercover as a fulcrum agent for the rebellion. That could have been a good way for him to still contribute, but not actually be in the limelight. We also have theory crafter Professor etc., and he states, the rebellion might have been able to treat Anakin for his burn wounds much better than, say, Sidious. Better prosthetics, repair his lungs and other body parts, a dip in the back tank, etc. That would have been really interesting. Yeah, I really like this idea because perhaps Sidious was actually holding back on helping Anakin repair his body, or of course, Darth Vader repair his body, and the rebellion might have been able to do a better job with that. That's a really interesting point. Thank you for that. Daniel S. also says, if Ahsoka had brought Anakin to the light, then the Emperor would have had a new puppet, possibly Ezra, because of his interactions with the Sith holocron. Good point, Daniel. Perhaps the Emperor would have put a lot more pressure on Ezra. He would have put a lot more resources into securing Ezra as his new apprentice. Great point. Moving on here to Jay Mikowski. Up next, he says, with someone as powerful as Anakin being with the rebellion, the first battle won by the rebellion would have come much earlier. And just think about the episode Twin Sons. Ezra will try and save Obi-Wan from Maul's rage. Ezra will tell Anakin that his master still lives, and then the original trilogy will start. That's a really good point, Jay. I hadn't even thought about how Obi-Wan would survive. So now you have Obi-Wan, Anakin, Ahsoka, Yoda, Ezra, Kanan, all these Jedi running around that could go and defeat the Emperor together. But moving on here, we have Christian H. He says, from Vader's point of view, I sense Ahsoka would have tried to get him to return with her, but he would have denied her. He would have felt that he needed to confront the Emperor. Yeah, how cool would that be, Christian, if he went back to the Emperor, confronted him, and try and defeat him during this time period, and maybe takes himself out of the equation, the Emperor defeats him, and then the Emperor is again still out there looking for a new apprentice. And I have one more here for you. It's Medieval Man 9 again. He talked about, first up, about how things would be very similar, and in this part of his comment, he talked about how they would be very different. He states, where things have been different, though, is profound. I imagine that the rebellion would probably keep Anakin's Vader's identity a secret, as very few people would trust him if they actually knew who he was. Plus, they would probably forge new armor life support for him that looked nothing like his Vader armor previously. The plans to the Death Star would have made it to Yavin with no problems because Vader wouldn't be chasing down Leia's ship. The Rogue One team wouldn't have needed to act on their own because Anakin would have already warned them about the construction of the Death Star. Great points, Medieval Man 9. It is interesting to look back at this event and how it could have changed everything, and Medieval Man does a great job here of showing us exactly some of the big points, at least, that could have happened, how things could have been different. So thank you for that again, Medieval Man 9. But hey, Star Wars fans, if you're new here, I'm Mike, and my goal at Force Within TV is to encourage you to share your theory crafting Star Wars thoughts. And today, I'd like to invite you to like my Facebook page where each week I share various things. Plus, I'd like it if you'd share your thoughts and theories about the question of the day. And today's question is about community videos. What format would you like to see? We've struggled a little bit to get the views on these what if videos. So I thought I'd put it out to you guys and say, what would you like? Do you just want me to stick to sort of the latest news or latest mysteries in Star Wars and ask you guys questions about that? Or would you like me to stick with the what ifs? They do seem like they're a little less popular. So let me know in the comments below. So bringing things to a close here, remember my fellow theory crafting Jedi, use the Force within you to make the Star Wars community a better place. Share your thoughts and theories and encourage those who do the same. May the Force be with you.